Hi Virgo, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Nina and today we are doing your April 2020 predictions. This may apply to Virgo Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Keep in mind that this is a general reading, so it may not apply to everyone, and that is okay. Take what resonates with you and leave the rest that doesn't. If you are able to gain something from this reading, if you are able to learn something or gain some clarity, let me know in the comments down below. And also give the video a like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification to know when I upload my videos. And if you want to book a personal reading with me, you can do so at Sinfulpluto.com. And obviously with everything that's going on, you know, there may not be a whole lot of like shit going down, at least like on a external level, I guess you could say. So, you know, we'll see what kind of pops up and see what comes through for you. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so Spirit, what's going on for Virgo Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, April 2020? Okay, so we have the Four of Wands reversed, which makes sense, especially on a collective level. With everything that's going on, of course, there is a sense of instability. You know, the root chakra has kind of been shaken up, and a lot of like shit is going on. You know, there's kind of like just like this ensuing panic and everything, this ongoing panic of like, am I gonna be safe? Am I gonna be secure? Do I feel this way? Do I feel safe? Do I feel secure? How can I gain security again? How can I gain stability again? Because right now things just feel kind of rocky, especially now with like, obviously we all have payments, that we all have bills to pay and things like that. So of course there is this underlying sense of instability and disharmony, especially within the home, and just kind of this this questioning of like, what am I gonna do? How can I continue remaining afloat, essentially? So that's kind of what the Four of Wands reverse is talking about. And we have the Judgment card. So for some of you, Virgo, the first thing that kind of comes through with these two cards is like, this month is kind of a judgment moment for you, in the sense where it's like you may have remained comfortable at a certain job or climate in your life, or a certain phase in your life, whatever the case is, and you may have stayed there longer than you plan to, or longer than you know you should have. And it feels that in April 2020, this is kind of saying how, you know, something has to be done, some sort of action has to be taken, because it feels as though the discomfort is going to continue until some sort of initiative is taken, until something is done, so until something is changed, until an action, you know, takes place, if that kind of makes sense. So Virgo, for you, Virgo, if you have been kind of like very comfortable, if you've gotten very comfortable in a certain area of your life, at a certain job, even if you weren't entirely happy with it, you know, maybe you stayed because it paid the bills, right? Like it got things done for you. It seems that April is kind of having you really face the fact that maybe you weren't really happy at this job, and maybe you kind of know that you stayed longer than you wanted to, or longer than you needed to, and so it's almost as though it's like, all right, time to get going. We got things to do, we have progress to make. That's kind of what it seems as though. And it doesn't even have to be with a job, it may be with different aspects of your life, whether it's with a relationship, romantic relationship, or platonic relationship, or a familial thing, whatever it is. Like, it's some sort of change that has to take place, and you may have known, but you kind of like swept to the side, put it to the back burner, like, oh, I'll do this later, I have time, it's fine. But now it's kind of like, all right, time's up. Like you gotta do something. It's your judgment moment. So that's kind of what that seems like. And we have Temperance here: moderation, balance, healing. Did I say patience? We have, oh, that's also, wow, we have a lot of major arcana cards. So Judgment, Temperance, and Sagittarius. So the Lovers, we have Gemini energy. we have the Hierophant reversed, Taurus, Capricorn energy to me. And it's, yeah, it's a reversed, okay. The Six of Pentacles. And then at the bottom of the deck is the Seven of Cups. So kind of like confusion, a lot of confusion, but also this sense of like trying to play innocent, trying to play dumb, trying to play naive, trying to act as though you didn't know any better, as though one didn't see it coming, as though one could not have possibly anticipated what was coming, or possibly anticipated whatever changes needed to take place, or just couldn't, they acting as though one didn't anticipate something, whatever it may be, right? And the truth of the matter is, like, the person did know, but they wanted to ignore it. They like ignored the red flags. Again, this may relate to literally anything in our lives, whether it's like a relationship thing or a job or whatever it is, school, personal life, social life, whatever this is. This is kind of that thing of like wanting to play it off as though one didn't know, but really they did know, but maybe they ignored the red flags, they ignored the signs, maybe because they wanted to give it the benefit of the doubt, or because they just didn't want to believe it, or because they got too comfortable in that setting, and so they were like, you know what, no, I reject this isn't true, I want to continue living in this reality, and you know, that reality may have been shattered. So that's kind of what the Seven of Cups talks about. And again, for some of you with this Four of Wands reverse, this can talk about the home, this can talk about any form of stability, any sort of like immediate environment. This can talk about anything that is just very familiar to you, that is part of your daily routine, something that you are just very comfortable with. And having it reversed kind of talks about the shakeup, it talks about the disharmony, it talks about the insecurity, the instability in some way, the changes. And the Four of Wands reverse talks about how some of you may require to have a sort of change in environment, a change in setting, a change in the people that you surround yourself with, or whatever the case may be for you. And with the Seven of Cups, again, it may have been that you tried to kind of put this on the back burner, maybe you tried to ignore this, but with the Judgment card, it's kind of saying like, you know, time is here, you can no longer ignore it. Now it's time to make your call. Now there is a decision that has to be made. And it's kind of like in your face now, you know, you can't ignore it anymore. It's bam, right there. That's kind of what it feels like for you, Virgo. And so there's this imagery with the balancing of scales, or just like balancing things in general, seeing if your heart is lighter than a feather. And then again with Temperance, finding balance, moderation, trying to find the middle ground in some way. And with the Temperance card, this also talks about healing. Maybe trying to find the best of both worlds in a sense. And we also have the Lovers, which also kind of emphasizes a sense of balance, a sense of not necessarily moderation, but kind of like yin yang sort of stuff. Like finding the balance. Why do we have so much balancing here? And the Lovers also talks about a choice that you have to make. So again, we have the Four of Wands reversed and this Lovers here. So with the Lovers, this talks about a choice that you have to make, where there is a clear right or wrong answer, and you might know what this answer is, or what you might know what choice you have to make. But you know, obviously, like with our ego-driven selves as human beings, we don't want to accept the right answer, or maybe we need further confirmation, or maybe we have grown too comfortable in a certain setting, and so we're like, no, like I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I feel uncomfortable. I don't know how to move forward with all of this, that sort of vibe, right? But deep down, you may already know what choice you have to make, but you know, maybe kind of just like want to avoid it, or maybe you need further confirmation, in which case this is your confirmation. And with the Lovers, this, for some of you, this might also just deal with relationships in your life. Maybe some relationships in your life are just kind of feeling a little bit wobbly, or maybe there was some sort of shakeup within your relationships, especially with the Hierophant reversed. Maybe your partner, or maybe even you, has been kind of rigid in something, which is the Hierophant reverse, being very rigid, being very stubborn, not wanting to do things differently, not wanting to conform in some way, or like not wanting to adjust or to adapt. There's kind of this stubbornness of like, no, I want it this way. It has to be this way, or no way at all. So if this is you or another person, the advice that kind of comes through is just like, give it a break. Take a minute and let go of the iron grip. Learn to let go of the iron grip. Try to surrender control. Try to be open-minded. Open your mind to different options, to different ideas, to different possibilities, because I promise you, there isn't only one way of doing things. There isn't only one specific outcome. There are many different outcomes in this world. There are billions and billions and billions of possibilities that may come into play. There isn't just one, there isn't one golden option that one has to take in order to, for example, be successful or something along those lines. It also feels with this Hierophant reversed, something just has to be done differently. There has to be a different approach. Again, it's just being open-minded. Not being so strict with like a certain routine. I feel like for some of you, routine, obviously with everything going on, your routine may have been really shaken up for Wands reversed, and the Hierophant, your routine may have been really shaken up, and some of you might be feeling really frustrated about that. You don't really know what to do. You don't know how to stay productive. You might just be freaking out over everything, and you might find yourself kind of taking things to extremes. Temperance card, and so you're being called to find a sense of moderation and to pace yourself so that you don't end up like overworking yourself or even punishing yourself for not doing so much work, if that kind of makes sense. Like if you literally haven't had much to do because you're on lockdown or because you're on quarantine, that's okay. It's okay if you're not being productive from 9 to 5 when you're at home. It's fine. Take a breather. It's literally, you are going to survive. Like you are going to be fine if you don't overwork yourself. If anything, don't overwork yourself. Don't punish yourself for not finding things to do to keep yourself busy all of the time. And like obviously like it's so much easier said than done, Virgo, but Spirit is kind of just really saying like your routine is definitely being shaken up, and that's fine. Okay, that's fine. So adapt to it rather than like severely resisting it, because by severely going against it, you only hurt yourself. So adapting to it and being open to change, being open to different possibilities, being open to different things that you can do, being open to taking on a new hobby, or literally just resting, or being a bit of a couch potato for a few days, or like watching a new show, like being open to those things, like, and following through with them may really help you in adjusting to what's going on right now. And it might even be a very, very necessary break for you. It might be something that is much needed, but because of this resistance, you may not know that, if that kind of makes sense. Is my hair like, it might be, you know what? It's okay though. It's okay. But that's kind of like what it seems like for you, Virgo, is like, take a step back from this rigid routine. Don't be so hard on yourself. You don't have to have everything scheduled, okay? Like it's okay if you flow away from the schedule for a few minutes, for a few days, or even a few weeks. Like you're not a bad person if you stray away from the schedule. You're going to be fine if you don't brush your teeth at 7:30 in the morning. Like, it's fine. It's gonna be okay. So again, there's just a sense of needing to find moderation. And I also think with everything that's going on right now with this Lover's card, it might be a really great time to reevaluate, to revisit your morals, your values, your belief system, and to see what serves you, what doesn't serve you. Are you living up to those values? Are you living up to those beliefs, to that belief system? Or have you become incredibly rigid in your beliefs? And have you been kind of oppressive in a way, not only towards yourself, but towards others? Have you been oppressive, or maybe really dogmatic in some way, or really judgmental, or really closed-minded before everything that's going on? Like, have you kind of strayed away from that, or have you become just really like just having this idea that you're the only one who is right, and that you're only being honest, and so on and so forth? Have you taken on this mindset? And if so, do you want to continue living that out, or do you want to change that? Are there any adjustments that you want to make to your attitude and to the way in which you express your beliefs? Or, are there beliefs that you want to shift? Is there an attitude shift that you may need to take on? That sort of thing. And we have the Six of Pentacles, which basically talks about reciprocity and giving back and being generous. So for some of you, it might be, you might help yourself feel a little bit more productive by giving back to your community. You might feel a sense of purpose, or reconnected with your sense of purpose, or you might feel as though you finally you might find a sense of purpose by giving back to people, by giving back to your community, by donating to charities, by doing things that just are of assistance, that are of aid to other people, whether it's in your neighborhood, whether it's in your general community, whether it's by donating to people, whether it's doing like personal shopping for people. I don't know what it may be. That might give you a sense of purpose, and it might help ease the anxiety a little bit in terms of like, what do? I need to do something, because I'm sure I'm sure some Virgos are just like freaking out because they don't have a schedule. And perhaps for some of you, it kind of stems from like needing a sense of purpose, needing something to do, feeling like, okay, like I have something, I know what I'm doing, I have like my little purpose here. So perhaps by giving back to people in some way, oh my God, there's like, the car is like, the light from a car is reflecting right onto my eyes. So maybe by donating to charities, or somehow contributing to your communities, that might be really helpful for you, and it might help de-stress you a little bit. But also, be careful of giving too much of yourself, especially when you are not, when that energy isn't being reciprocated to you. So, or like reciprocated on the same level. So be careful of like bending your back backwards to give back to your community, to give back to your people, and then having the potential of them just taking advantage of you. So yeah, this is kind of like all over the place. I am so sorry, but that's kind of like what I have for you, Virgo. It really seems as though like you need to take a chill pill. It's kind of what it seems like, and there might need to be some adjustments in terms of beliefs, or adjustments in terms of attitude, and any form of rigidity or control issues, or just being really stubborn about anything. Like, there's just this whole theme of like needing to find balance and moderation, and not taking things to extremes. So yeah, I hope that resonates. I hope that was helpful for you, Virgo. Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your feedback. And with that being said, I will talk to you later.